Bienvenidos. Welcome to week 3. So this week we're going to be looking at the future tense and using, or the near future tense, let's say, and using the near future tense to plan a trip to Spain, or at least talk about a trip to Spain that you would take in the future. So before we get into that, though, we'll start by looking at what we did last week. So you've got 3 little starters. The first one, so A, is just to write down how you would say these times in Spanish. And then B, write down how you'd say these numbers in Spanish. And then C, using the first letter of each word. Write the translation for next week, next year, last month, 2 years ago. Obviously with next year, we looked at 2 different ways to say next, so look at which one is actually required by the question. Okay, so pause the video, have a go. So for A, the first one's going to be es la 1:30, so it's 1:30. Remember, media is like, let's say half. Son las 5:15. Look at the spelling of cuarto here. So cuatro is very easy to get confused between cuarto, which is quarter, and cuatro, which is 4. The third one, son las 9:20. It's 9 and 20. And then these are the more complicated ones, because you're not going to say 7. You're going to say 7:45. So son las 8 menos cuarto. So it's 8, like minus, less than a quarter. And then again, you're not going to say 3:40. You're going to say 1:45, although I suppose you could say that. But you're going to say 22:4. So son las 4 menos 20. There you can see the difference in spelling of cuarto, which is quarter, and 4, which is 4. So how do you say these numbers? So that's 40, 60, and then 78. It's very easy to get confused between 60, which is 60, and 70, which is 70. So if you, the way to remember it is 6. If I write that there, 6 is 6, and 7 is 7, and 7 has a T in it. So you have an extra T here for 70. 91. And then the 2 larger numbers, 500. This is the most important one to know. It's the one which doesn't follow the pattern, and it is the one they do like to use in exams. So 552, 552. And then the last one, 223. Remembering that the numbers 21 to 29 are written as one word. When it's higher than that, they're separated by and. So the tens and the units are separated by and. And C. So next week, la semana próxima. Next year, el año que viene. You could also say el año próximo, because que viene and próximo both mean the same thing. So you could also say here, la semana que viene. Last month, el mes pasado. 2 years ago, hace 2 años. So this is the vocab we're going to be using today. This is also taken from your fact book. So it's a bit of a writing frame. So the bits in bold are like the sentence starters. You will have seen this one. Actually, you will have seen most of these before. But IK might be new. So IK means like, I did put here, I have to, but that's not really a very good translation, so you can cross that out in your fact book. It means more like you have to, but it's it's a bit of a hard one to translate. In some circumstances, it can mean we have to, but you have to, or like one has to, is that the best way to translate it? So you put the infinitive after all of these, and you put the infinitive after from boy a, ba a, vamos a, van a, because that's just the near future tense. So boy a is I'm going to, and then you put the infinitive after it. So these are all in the infinitive. That's why they end in er, ar, ir. So yeah, you can use this as a writing frame. So do have this open and near you when we go through when we're doing the activities. Oh, and this last little phrase here, lo vamos a pasar guay, is a sort of more interesting, higher level way to express an opinion. So you can replace guay with any adjective. So we're going to have a something time. You could say lo vamos a pasar genial, lo vamos a pasar fantástico. So you can replace that to manipulate it. And that's it. So could you just now just have a look through the vocab we're going to be using today? So practicing with the future tense. I think you'll be aware of most of these, but if we just talk through them. So if you're going to say I'm going to, so I'm going to visit my friends. I'm going to is voy a. And then after you put the infinitive, so voy a, and then visitar a mis amigos. If you're saying he or she is going to, you can no longer use voy a, because voy a is the I form. So you have to say va a. So if you're saying my friend is going to, you're going to say va a visitar. Or if you're saying my brother, mi hermano, va a visitar. Then if you're saying we are going to, so the we form is needed either if you're just saying we, but if you say something like my friends and I, or my parents and I, that's now become we. So you can no longer say voy a, that's I. So you say vamos a, so we are going to visit, my friends and I are going to visit, mis amigos y yo vamos a visitar. And then if you say my friends, plural, so if there's more than one, you're going to say van a, and then visitar. This is the they form. A good way to know what form of the verb you have to use is if you're talking about your friend. If you say, for example, my friend is nice, if you were to replace my friend with a pronoun, you'd say he. So my friend is nice, he is nice. So you use the he form. So use va. If you say my parents and I are nice, if you don't want to say my parents and I and you replace it with a pronoun, you'd say we are nice. My parents and I are nice, we are nice. So use the we form. If you say my friends are nice, and you don't want to say my friends, you replace it with the pronoun, you'd say they are nice. My friends are nice, they are nice. So use the they form. That's sort of the way to identify, a quick way to identify which form of the verb you need. So, actually you don't have to write this down, you can just think about it. I would like you to tell me, or think about, which of these translations is correct. So, actually just make a note for me. Make a note of this so you can refer back to it. So pause the video, make a note of this. So I'm going to swim in the sea. Is it going to be nado en el mar, vamos a nadar en el mar, or voy a nadar en el mar? There's a few of these, so just pause it as you need to. So I'm going to swim in the sea is going to be voy a nadar en el mar. The next one, my sister is going to sunbathe. Is it mi hermana va a tomar el sol, mi hermana van a tomar el sol, or mi hermana voy a tomar el sol? Is it this one, or this one? Because this is the only thing that's changed, that verb. So have a look in your notes, think about if it's my sister, Is that he, she? Is it we? Is it they? Is it I? And make a guess. A, B, or C. Again, you can pause the video. It's ba'a. This would be used if it was they. So if it was my sisters, they are going to sunbathe, it'll be ban. And obviously this is the I form. He's going to take photos. A, B, or C. It's ba. My father and I are going to eat paella. So is it mi padre y yo voy, mi padre y yo va, mi padre y yo vamos? Have a look at your notes. Think about which form of the verb you need. And again, you can pause the video. So it's going to be vamos because that is the we form. And when you say my dad and I, that's now become we. So my dad and I are nice, we are nice. I'm going to relax. Voy a descansar. This would be we are going to relax, and that would be you are going to relax. My friend and I are going to visit Spain. Think about what form of the verb you need. And it's vamos, mi amigo y yo vamos. If this was this without the y yo, that will be right, because that's now my friend. That's the he form. My friend is going to visit Spain. And if this was mis amigos, that would also now be right, because it's my friends, and that's the they form. My parents are going to take the cable car. Ban, ba, bas, if it's my parents. Pause the video. It's going to be ban, because that's the they form, and it's my parents is requires the they form of the verb. If this was mi, padre, that will be right, because it's now singular. My dad is going to, that's the he, she form. They are going to relax. It's going to be ban. My sister is going to eat paella. It's going to be ba, so that's the she form. If this was mis hermanas, that's now plural, so my sisters, that would be correct, because that's the they form. So we're going to do a bit of a listening now. So there's two things you're answering. Although really if you answer one, you've answered the other already. So first of all, in what order are these things mentioned, so A to K? And then also tell me what isn't mentioned. So I think the best way to do this, or the best way for you to do this, is to write A to K on whatever you're working on. And then as you hear one of these mentioned, so for example, if I say eat Spanish food first, you just put a 1 next to B, and then if sunbathing is the next activity, put a 2. Okay. A good thing to do before listening, which you're going to do now, is to write down any words you think that you're listening for. So next to where you've put A to K, just write down some keywords. So for example, next to A you might write parque, because that's the word for park. That should say eat, not each. You might put the verb to eat. So the verb to eat in Spanish is comer. Monuments is a nice cognate, so you might write down monumentos. So just write down for me now next to the letters that you've written down. Write down the Spanish that you could be listening for. And again, you can look at your fact book. You can refer back to that if you need to. So pause the video to make some notes, and then I'll start with the transcript. So I'm only going to say this once, because you can just rewind the video yourself. So here's the text. La semana próxima voy a visitar España con mis amigos. Lo vamos a pasar guay. El primer día voy a comprar recuerdos para mi familia y voy a practicar mi español en la tienda. También voy a ver los barcos en el puerto y vamos a tomar el sol en la playa. En la playa vamos a hacer windsurf. Segundo día, hay que comer paella y churros y vamos a visitar los monumentos más interesantes de la ciudad. So if you want to hear that again, just rewind the video now. So here are your answers and here's the text. So this is the order. So the green numbers is the order. And then we'll go through where in the text these answers are. So the first thing it says, we're going to have a great time. So that's this nice opinion phrase, which you forgot in your fact book. Lo vamos a pasar guay. Number 2, buy things for family. There it is. Voy a comprar recuerdos. Recuerdos literally means like memories, but it's the word for souvenirs. Practice Spanish. There it is. Practicar mi español. A nice cognate, practicar. With practicar, you can also use that to mean like to practice sports or to do sports. Practicar deporte. See the boats in the port. Voy a ver los barcos en el puerto. What's the next one? 5. Sunbathe. Tomar el sol. 6. Do water sports. So they didn't say water sports, they named a kind of water sport, but that's the same thing. Vamos a hacer windsurf. 7. Eat Spanish food. And again, they didn't say the word Spanish food, but they mentioned kinds, types of Spanish food, so paella and churros. And then see monuments. Visitar los monumentos. And then the ones obviously in red are the ones which were mentioned. So, a reading exercise. Again, this uses a lot of the vocab, or all of the vocab, from in your fact book. So, we'll go through the questions first to see if there's anything which might catch you out. When are they going to Barcelona? That should be pretty straightforward. What are they going to do at Montjuic? Straightforward. What are their parents going to do? How long are they going to spend at the beach? What is their dad going to do instead of going to the beach? What 2 things? So, yes, have to be done. Look in your fact book for how you say like one has to or you have to. And that's what you're going to be looking out for number 6. 2 things they're going to do at the beach. What are their parents going to do at night? Okay, so that all looks pretty self-explanatory. So, pause the video now. Have a go. You're answering in English, please. So the answers, when are they going to go to Barcelona? El mes que viene, so next month. This was one of our, the last lesson when we did about time phrases. That's one of those, el mes que viene, next month. What are they going to do at Montjuic? So they said they're going to get the teleférico, the cable car to Montjuic. Where? Donde voy a tomar el sol? Where I'm going to sunbathe. So sunbathe is the answer to number 2. What are their parents going to do at Montjuic? So mis padres van a visitar el Palacio Nacional. So they're going to visit the National Palace, el Palacio Nacional. How long are they going to spend at the beach? Voy a pasar todo el día en la playa. So I'm going to spend todo el día. That's like all day, the whole day. What is their dad going to do instead of going to the beach? So I'm going to spend the whole day at the beach with my mum, pero mi padre va a ir al centro comercial. So my dad's going to go to the shopping centre and he's going to go shopping. What 2 things are mentioned that have to be done? So hay que, so they have to get the cable car to Montjuic, and also they have to buy souvenirs for the family. what two things are they going to do at the beach? So mi madre y yo vamos a nadar en el mar. So my mum and I are going to swim in the sea. And vamos a hacer deportes acuáticos. So that they're going to do water sports, aquatic sports. What their parents are going to do at night. Mis padres van a ir a un restaurante. So their parents are going to go to a restaurant. And then voy a descansar en el hotel. I'm going to relax in the hotel for number 9. So a bit of writing. So I'd like you to use the vocab you've seen from this lesson to just basically write a similar text to this and this one here. So write about a trip that you're going to make to Spain using the future tense. So try to not just use this vocab, but try and manipulate it. So for example, when I say manipulate, I mean use the verbs. So this is go to a churro restaurant or a place where they sell churros. But you could replace this with voy a ir al parque. So I'm going to go to the park. And here you could say eat, but you don't necessarily have to say paella. So you could say comer en un restaurante, like eat at a restaurant. For visitar, you don't just have to visit monuments. You can mention a specific monument you're going to visit, or you can mention that you're going to visit the beach, for example, or visit the city, visitar la ciudad. Hacer, you could say you're going to do something else, so you don't have to say a lot of things. You could say you're going to do sports, hacer deportes. You could add something on the end of here, so descansar somewhere en la playa. So yeah, try and use the vocab, but also manipulate it. Try to use some different perspectives as well that we practiced right at the start of the lesson. So saying my brother, my sister, my dad, my friend. And again, obviously you don't have to tell the truth. You can just make it all up. Please do make it up. And then use the opinion phrases as well that we saw in the first week. So add in a porque, so because, me apasiona. So for example, this example I've given here, it's I'm going to do windsurfing because I'm passionate about it, porque me apasiona. Or you could say porque me interesa. Or porque me gusta, porque me chifla. Add in some opinion phrases. And finally, there are 8 mistakes in this text. So the mistakes are in the verbs. So read through and check the actual meaning of the verb. So check they've used the right verb and that it actually makes sense. So go through and actually translate it in your head. So we'll do the first example together. We'll do the first mistake together. And again, a reminder, the mistakes are all verbs. So la semana próxima voy a nadar España con mis amigos. There's already a mistake in this first sentence. So read through it and translate it literally in your head and try and work out what the mistake is. You can pause the video. So the mistake is nadar, because nadar means swim. So it doesn't make sense to say I'm going to swim Spain. So that's the mistake. So pause the video and have a go identifying the 7 other mistakes. Okay, so here are the mistakes. So it would make more sense to say visitar. Sacar recuerdos is going to be comprar, buy, souvenirs. You wouldn't say see my Spanish, practice my Spanish. Hacer, I'm going to do the boats. Say see the boats. Practice the sun. Tomar el sol. So that's tomar el sol in Spanish means sunbathe. Hacer instead of visit windsurf. So hacer is do. Sacar paella makes more sense to say comer paella. And then finally, you're not going to eat the monuments. You're going to say visitar los monumentos. So in your fact book, then you've got this. So what I'd like you to do is learn the vocab. I would say it maybe looks like a lot, but you know a lot of this vocab already. So verbs like ir, to go, you will have seen lots. Comer, to eat. Practicar is nice and easy because it's a cognate. Sacar fotos is easy. Visitar is easy. So learn this vocab. You can make flashcards. Get someone in your family to test you on the vocab. Do look, cover, write check. Whatever works for you to learn the vocab.